Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today is the day I kind of dreaded all summer. This is the day I'll be bringing my tropical trees in from the two greenhouses into the plant room and the basement below. I brought some of my ficus in already and they take up a lot of space on the benches. The canopies are getting really large on them. It feels very strange bringing the trees inside because of the weather outside. I'll show you that. As you can see, the weather here isn't very tropical. It feels really strange carrying a tropical tree outside in the snow. Here's a shot showing the contrast between a hardy tree and a tropical tree, both out on a snowy day. It is about freezing out here, so there's no danger of the tree dying or anything. I'm going to take it into the plant room now. In it goes. I'm bringing all the larger trees in first, and that way I can arrange the smaller trees kind of around them, filling in the spaces on the benches. This morning when I got up, it was 7 degrees Celsius in the greenhouse, and it's gone up to 10 degrees Celsius now. So it's still not too bad out here. There are some colder nights coming in the forecast, minus 4 degrees Celsius outside, so that would mean the greenhouse might stay at 1 or 2 degrees. It's getting pretty cold, so in the trees go. All right, next in goes the Schefflera. Okay, here I go. Now I gotta get it through these doors. I might have to open up both doors. Oh, you go, Schefflera. Okay. Close the doors. I bring the large heavy trees in at first in the morning when I've got lots of vim and vigor, and then as the day goes on, the trees get smaller and the task gets a little bit easier. All right, well, let's keep going. The next tree I'm going to take out is my yucca forest, and it's one of my heaviest plantings, so here I go. Yeah, this is a heavy planting. I don't know what makes it so heavy. The pot is fairly light. I guess it's just all the soil and trees. It's a big planting too. So this is the year I'm going to prune these back hard, getting rid of all this foliage, making them more compact. And then hopefully they'll live and grow back in. Okay, so I have the planting out now. I'm going to try picking it up. This will be hard work. Okay, here I go. From a sitting position. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Got it. There's a look at the yucca forest. It's a fairly unique forest, I think, but I really like it. I think it's really cool. It looks like very alien or very strange. All right, I better pre-open the door. And I'll set it down just outside and then close the greenhouse door. All right, come on. Here we go. Oh yeah, she's heavy. There we go. Okay, I gotta fit it out here. Just fits. I guess I could open that door up more, but... Okay. I'll close the greenhouse doors. Large trees are really nice to have until you go to move them. Okay, here we go. I had really good luck on my hard pruning of my Ficus benjaminus, except for my root over temple one. It's still alive and doing okay, but all the back of the tree died. But this shoot, the one I wanted to keep actually, is still alive. So I'm hoping over the winter it slowly gains vigor and I can develop another canopy up there. All hope is not lost on the root over temple. All right, I'll bring the root over temple in. This one is also very heavy because of all the stones, and the pot is quite heavy. It's probably just as heavy as my yucca forest, I think. All right, here I go. Here comes the sun now, so that's nice. My sarissa will get one more day of sunshine. In the almost 30 years that I've been growing bonsai, I've only dropped one pot in my life, and that was because I had a winter coat on and I was bringing the tree indoors, and my pocket of my coat caught on the door handle somehow, jerked me to a stop, and the pot went flying out of my hands onto the ground and it broke. So since then, I've never worn a winter coat bringing trees in. I try and dress kind of streamlined so nothing can catch on doors, and I'm very careful when I do go through doors and that I'm not moving quickly. So I'll keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully I won't break any more pots. Believe it or not, I am making good progress bringing the trees inside. And you might say, well, your benches are still full. And they are, but I moved all the trees from underneath the benches indoors. So I am making progress. I've got about half the trees inside already, and most of them are the really heavy ones. I still have my asparagus fern to go in. That's fairly heavy. And there might be some in the plastic greenhouse out there that are also very heavy. It's going to be a long day. I haven't been pruning any of the trees before I bring them in. This one, my monkey ear tree, I think I will because it's quite spreading and it's going to take up way too much room on the bench, and I'm quickly running out of room. So I'll give that a pruning. Okay, so I'll prune this one down more compact. I've got 2 leaf nodes each side here, so I'll just take the top off like that. I've got a large spreading branch from this largest tree in the middle here. So I've got to pick a point to take that back. I got some branching out here, but it's way too far away from the main trunk. So I think I'm going to take it back quite hard. And I'm just trying to determine where. There's no leaf nodes in this area of the tree. So I'm not sure if it'll back bud out of here, but I'm going to try. Here I go. If nothing comes out of there, well, I've learned something. That they don't back bud on that older young wood. It's not really old wood, but it's younger. This one, there is a leaf node here, so I'll take it back just above there, like that. There's a branch coming out the back here. I can take it off right here. There's a branch coming up here. I can take this off quite low, and I will. Might as well keep them compact because they're fast growing trees. I'll just take the tip off that branch. I got some nice branches here. I'll take that one off. And I'll take the leader off right here. And there's one branch that died here, and I think it's because it got shaded out by the branch above it. These trees seem to be very sensitive to light. If they're not getting light, the branch just dies off. Here on the tree, I've got kind of a nasty pruning mark where there was a branch here. I took the leader off and then a new branch grew up here. I'm going to try blending it in. We'll see what happens. I'll take that off like that, and a little more up here and some more down lower. That looks good. Okay, I just got to come in behind here. Now I'll have to use the pruners. I have to sharpen my bigger cutters. I'm way behind on my sharpening. I think that's good. Hopefully that'll heal over more flush now. Well, that certainly makes the monkey ear trees much more compact, so I can bring that in now. It's after lunch now, and it's snowing like crazy out here. Great big fluffy snow coming down. Looks really nice. Let's go in the greenhouse and see how I'm doing. Here's a look at the benches. So I still have a lot of trees in the first greenhouse here, the glass greenhouse. And let's go inside the plant room in the basement and I'll show you how much room I have left. Keeping in mind, I still have another greenhouse over there that's full of plants. Here's the basement. So I've still got, some room on here, but not a whole lot. I've got a few spots I can still fit trees. Boy, it's getting full though. I'll have to make more room somehow. Upstairs in the plant room here, it is also getting very full. You can see the main bench here is filling up really fast. The bench here doesn't have a whole lot on it yet, just two pots. This one, well, the one tree takes up pretty well that whole bench. Over here, it's getting pretty full. I've got a few spaces still, but not a whole lot. So yeah, things are filling up fast, and I still have a lot of trees outside. This is the kind of snow that's kind of fun to look up, open your mouth, and catch snowflakes. Got one. I'm going to leave all my newly planted royal oak acorns in here in the greenhouse over the winter. That'll keep them, kind of chilled for the winter, and then they'll pop out in spring. I'm going to bring my sarissa in the pot that David made downstairs next. Give it a good spot in the cellar where it'll keep cool for the winter. Okay. There's a general rule with plants. The cooler the plant is, the less light it needs. The warmer the plant is, the more light it needs. That's why my trees do so well in the basement, because they're really cool, so they don't need, a lot of really bright lights on them. Just those LED shop lights is sufficient to get them through the winter and keeps them nice and healthy. I've got my ficus microcarpa behind me here, the one I call plain. And my styling ideas for that was to make a low kind of flat canopy, sort of like an acacia style, reminiscent of the trees seen in the movie Avatar. So right now it's grown quite tall, so I'm going to prune it down before I bring it indoors because it's just getting too large. All right, so I'm going to start. This branch has an upward shoot and a more horizontal one, so I'll take the shoot going upwards off to there. I have another shoot here. I can shorten this one shooting upwards. I can shorten it there. This one, I got some nice horizontal branches, so I can take the leader off there. Yeah, right there. Take this tip off. There's a vertical one here. I can prune that back to a more horizontal leaf. There's a big strong shoot up the back here. Turn this around. Or I don't know if that's the back or the front. I think that's the back. Yeah, there's this big, strong, powerful one here that needs to be reduced back. All right, so where am I going to take that off? So this one trunk line is becoming very strong, which is not good. I want them to grow fairly equally, so I think I'll have to take it off right back to here. So here I go, like that. The other branches on this can be pruned back here to here. Just making the tree more compact. Come back to here. This one, I have to take it right back to there. This one is kind of growing on the inside. I'll take that right off. There's one kind of sticking up here. I can take that right back. And this one can come back to here. Maybe even shorter. I'm going to take it right off. It's crossing all the other branches. This wasn't intended to be a detailed pruning, but kind of getting rid of some of the areas that are problem areas. That's getting better this side. Let's go back to the front here. Tips like this I can reduce back. Here. I think this one's even too long. I'll do a hard prune. This one not long. This one I gotta take back, it's still too long. And this one. That gets it a lot more compact. It'll certainly make it easier to fit in the plant room now. There's one sticking straight up here I'll get rid of. Okay, I think that's good. It wasn't meant to be a detailed pruning, just to kind of get the shape back so I can put more trees in and it doesn't disturb the basic structural, skeleton of the tree. When I'm bringing in a tree that has a big tray planter like this, I always put some other trees on top so I can carry more trees in at once. So here's some of the other little ones I can put. You got to make sure they don't fall off. That's the only thing you have to watch for. Okay, so now I can carry that indoors. I've got another tree here, my saberleaf ficus, that's grown really large over the summer. So I'm going to prune it back today. It's just too big to fit in the plant room. So I'll just, reduce all the new growth back. These ficus trees have a habit of growing very large. When you first get a ficus, you're kind of wishing, I wish my ficus would grow really big and, thicken up and everything. And then when it gets to that point, you're trying to keep them small once again, because they just keep growing bigger and bigger. They don't like to stop growing, these ficus. So I'm just reducing everything back. Trying to make a small tree out of a big tree, if I can today. Well, it's getting more compact. It's less sprawling is the word, which is good. That means it takes up less room in the plant room. I don't mind if they go vertical, but they can't go too wide. Otherwise, they start taking up a lot of room. Now, there will come a day where I want to grow this one wider, but for now, I'm just kind of putting it back. I think I'm going to take that apex off right back to here. Like that. Shorten that even more. And maybe, I think I've got to take this branch back to here. Like that, shorten that also. Prune some of these branches that are going towards the inside off. It is getting better. An old leaf I can take out there. Look at the size of that leaf. Holy. Just removing some of the older leaves so I can get a bit more light in to these interior branches. Well, that's much better. I think that's good, in fact, for now. I'll do a more detailed pruning of it in the wintertime. I've only got one more tree in the glass greenhouse here, my hibiscus. So I'll bring that indoors and then I can turn down the heat. All right, in you go. still snowing out. So my glass greenhouse here is empty of trees. You can see the benches. That one's clear. The one over here. I've got a trident maple in there. Some moss and the Wally diorama. But the rest is just all bare. So that's one greenhouse done. I still have to do my plastic greenhouse. Let's go inside and see what trees are in there. I'm interested to see what large pots I have in here. So here I am, I'm inside. So I've got my acacias down here. I can fit those in the plant room. I've got space for those. I've got my ficus religiosa here. Most of these pots are small. My silk trees down there are fairly large. I've got some seed trays that I'll have to do some repotting. I've got all those Jerusalem thorns and some of the hibiscus in there that I can put in smaller pots. I've got my aloe here. That's got to go in the plant room. Got some big jades. That can go in the basement. I've got my chiflera. That should go in the plant room. I got another jade here. My climbing aloes. Another seed tray that I'll have to sort out. So yeah, a lot of smaller trees in this greenhouse. Not so many of the giant, big pots and big canopy trees. So I think, I'll be able to fit them in somehow, I hope. Let's go into the basement now. I'll show you how much room I have left for this greenhouse. Here's a look in the basement. So you can see I have some space left at the very end, but not a whole lot. I can fit some smaller pots at the end here. Maybe some in between some of the trees, but it's pretty full. Let's go in the plant room now and see how that's looking. So here it is. You may have noticed it's really greened up in here. Looks really nice, actually. It'll be kind of fun working away on the trees in the winter here. So everything's pretty well full. This whole front table is full. I can fit a few more smaller trees between the trees there. Basically, it's pretty full. This bench, again, I can fit a few more smaller trees in there, but it's pretty well full. That bench, I've got space back there for a big tree. That's about it. I can fit the acacias up here and maybe the jade too. And I'll have to hang a light for those. It doesn't get a whole lot of light back in that corner. So yeah, I've got everything's pretty well full, but I think I can squeeze the other greenhouse in. What I'll do is I'll probably work on reducing some of these trees over the next few days, getting them a little more compact so I can fit them closer together. I have to say though, surrounded by all these plants, it's like a jungle in here, and I just love it. It's like one of my favorite places to be is in a room full of interesting plants and trees. Yeah. I'm going to really enjoy the winter. Winter's going to go by fast. And before I know it, I'll be taking them all out into the greenhouse once again. I'll work away tomorrow, getting all the plants from the plastic greenhouse inside the plant room in the basement. Then I'll have to put up the insulated tarps on the greenhouses and then put all the hardy trees in them for the winter. I don't have to rush to do that because the temperatures are fine. They can stay out on the benches probably till mid or late December usually. The larch forest continues to get nice fall colors on it. The greens are starting to turn to yellows. The yellows to more of a straw color down here. And then eventually you can see some of the needles have started to fall off. It's a good feeling to get all my tropicals from the glass greenhouse into the plant room in the basement for the winter, keeping them safe and warm. And that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.